It's not okay for the guy who has a fingerprint on a gun inside that vehicle that was used to murder him?
You know, because who else would be stupid enough to post on Instagram, yeah, I just killed a guy. But the person that is trying to sell records go, you know what? People out there are going to believe it because they don't know it, but I feel secure enough that I'm not going to be charged with this because I know I didn't do it. You understand the question?
Now, if you could repeat it, I agree.
Bro basically just called his client stupid.
It does not, because he mentions Bibby almost every chance he gets.
Sidebar, Your Honor?
Day 5 of the KSOO murder trial was interesting. The lead detective on the case testifies and identifies KSOO as the shooter. Things get pretty spicy with the defense lawyer on cross. Stick around for the last half of this video. Hit subscribe. Let's go, boys. Here's the main detective on the case, I believe. We see this guy in all the interrogation footage of this case. If you don't know, there's interrogation footage of everyone in this case, like talking to this guy.
I'm Sergeant Christopher Smith of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you worked for the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office?
Since April 2014, about 11 years now.
And what's your current rank and position at the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office?
I'm a sergeant in the robbery and violent crime unit.
Were you working as a homicide detective?
I was.
Now, when you watched that dash cam video footage there at the scene as part of your initial investigation, did it assist you or provide you any investigative leads when you viewed it?
It did.
And what was that?
I gave a description of the shooting suspect and the firearm used to shoot, and it also provided, alright, that was later. I watched the only clip of the murder at that time.
Did you later learn that it also captured a vehicle that was used?
I did.
And what type of vehicle was that?
It appeared to be a gray Nissan Altima.
When you were there on scene conducting your initial investigation, did you learn where that Nissan Altima was located?
Yes, it was, it crashed on Townsend Road.
And it had been pursued by law enforcement?
Yes, it was pursued by Officer Jimmy Collins. At the same time, someone exits the passenger side of the Nissan and starting to chase him down. As the Nissan and the trucker start to go forward at the same time, and it appears the person gets back into the Nissan. And they both take off in the parking lot.
I wish we could see this footage, man.
Now, based on the location of her home and the time frame of when that crime took place, did you believe it was possibly connected to your murder investigation?
Yes.
And with that in mind, did you and Detective Richardson stay in touch and kind of work the case together?
Don't they specifically try to steal Nissan Altimas because they're so easy to steal, or am I tripping? Like, Nissan Altimas are always getting stolen.
So did you request DNA swabs from the Nissan Altima?
Yes.
Including the interior?
Yes.
Did you request that Nissan Altima, the car itself, be processed for any potential prints?
Yeah, yes.
Were there any prints of value found on the exterior of the Nissan Altima?
No.
Were any prints of value found on the interior of the vehicle itself?
No.
Did you request any additional testing be done for any of the items you just mentioned that were collected inside the Nissan Altima?
Yes, the firearms were sent off for latent prints as well as DNA swabs. The shirts eventually went to FDLE for DNA testing.
And that's already in evidence, but what did that video surveillance reveal to you?
It depicted a orange Dodge Challenger driving down Townsend Road towards the location of the 1033 Townsend Road. Sorry.
And why was that video significant to you?
Given Miss Barbara Buckley's description of the vehicle the suspects left her house in, it matched.
And how many suspects were reported to be involved in her case?
She described a tattoo on one of the suspect's arm that said 1993.
So based on the location and the specific tattoo?
Yes.
The general characteristics. Was that photo spread presented to Ms. Buckley?
It was.
And were you made aware of the results of that photo spread?
Yes, she picked out Dominic Varner as a suspect who entered her home that day.
Bro really cooked himself having 1993 on his arm like that. Like, holy shit.
There was a print found on the Glock handgun that came back to Hakeem Robinson.
Were there any prints of value found on the rifle?
No.
Now, do you see Hakeem Robinson in the courtroom here today?
I do.
Can you please tell us where he's seated and what he is wearing?
He's on the second row in the middle wearing a beige suit, glasses.
Your Honor, if the record reflect he's identified Hakeem Robinson.
All right, the record shall so reflect.
Was there any other DNA identified that provided you with another lead to a potential suspect?
Yes, there's DNA that linked back to Leroy Whitaker.
And where was that recovered from, do you recall?
Her pants.
Based on Leroy Whitaker's DNA found on Ms. Buckley's pants, was an arrest warrant obtained for Leroy Whitaker in relation to Ms. Buckley's crime?
Yes.
When was Leroy Whitaker arrested on that arrest warrant?
It was April 6th of 2020.
Do you see Leroy Whitaker in the courtroom here today?
I do.
Can you please tell us where he's seated and what he is wearing?
He's in the front row wearing a gray suit, red shirt, it's like a gray bow tie.
During your investigation, did you later receive additional results from FDLE regarding the shell casings collected from the plaza where the murder took place?
I did.
And what did you learn regarding those 11 shell casings?
Obviously, they're .223 caliber, but they did not knife him back to the handgun or the other rifle.
So were the Glock and the rifle that were recovered from the Nissan Altima excluded as having fired those?
Yes.
The two guns that were found in the car were excluded as the murder weapons.
Did you ever locate the actual murder weapon?
I did not.
Never located the murder weapon that apparently, I think someone said he left it in the creek somewhere. KSOO did. I saw someone also say you can't charge someone with murder without a murder weapon, which is completely false. I don't know where they got that. There's a lot of dumb comments. Yeah.
Yes, the swab from the driver's compartment came back to Hakeem Robinson, as well as a mixture of other people.
Now, what about the two white shirts that were recovered from the Nissan Altima? Did you also get notified of the FDLE results regarding DNA on those shirts?
Yes.
And did that include DNA from both Leroy Whitaker and Hakeem Robinson?
Yes, and it included a hair from a Shafton Hogan.
So once you were made aware of a hair whose DNA matched Shifan Hogan?
I'm saying his name correctly, I'm sorry.
Maybe me. Did you attempt to investigate him in any way to determine whether or not he was a suspect?
Yes.
And were you able to actually speak to him?
Yes.
Did you also identify a phone number that he was using at the time?
I did.
And do you recall what that number was? Did you request cell phone records associated with that specific phone number?
Yes.
And did that include cell site information and location?
Yes.
And did you request to have that information mapped by the FBI CAS unit to determine where that device was located at relevant times?
Yes.
And based on those results, was Chiffon Hogan ruled out as a suspect?
Yes.
And do you recall what his Instagram account was?
KSOO 23X.
Were you able to view some of the content on that Instagram account very early on in your investigation?
Yes.
Very early on, day of and the days leading after McCormick's murder, did you see anything that you believe to be relevant to your investigation posted to that account?
Yes.
And what did that include?
It included, there's a small child singing a song. That was about the day of the murder. And then on, I think it was the 19th of January, the victim was posted, and the caption, or the text that was over it said bye-bye. And then I think a day later, there was a video of someone in a salon getting their, looks like a pedicure, with the caption, kill a nigga, not toast.
Kill it and where to get my toes done. This is what I'm talking about with self-snitching, bro. If you do dumb shit like this on the internet, you honestly deserve to get caught. I'm sorry. It's just so fucking stupid.
Was there also an Instagram live video that you observed?
Yes.
And Your Honor, may I approach again?
There's an Instagram live.
Attempt to get a search warrant, or did you get a search warrant for the Instagram records associated with the KSOO 23X account?
I did.
And were you also able to identify an Instagram account for Leroy Whitaker?
Yes.
Right. And do you recall whether or not you were able to identify an Instagram account for Abdul Robinson Jr.?
Yes.
Oregon Williams?
Yes.
How were those accounts verified by review of those individual accounts that you were able to make yourself?
Yes.
All right. By reviewing those Instagram accounts, were you able to see photographs and videos associated with the account and the usernames?
Yes.
Right. And based on that information and other information you gathered during the course of your investigation, did you submit search warrants to obtain records for each of those accounts?
Yes.
And did you receive those records?
I did.
And were you able to review the Instagram records for those accounts?
Yes.
Did a review of those Instagram account records assist you with identifying phone numbers being used by those individuals at the time?
Yes.
That's another thing. We've seen this in other cases too. The Instagram records tell all because these guys are DMing tons of people and people message them going, yo, what's your number? And then they send them their phone number and then they come into court and try to act like it's not their phone number. But then why are you sending it to a bunch of people saying it's your number on Instagram?
A registered email address, do you see that?
Yes.
And did you take note of that?
Yes.
And did that come into play later in part of your investigation?
It does.
And specifically, what did you do regarding that email address?
I looked at it compared to the phones of Mr. Robinson.
Were you able to obtain Apple records associated with that email address?
Yes.
And did that lead you to one iCloud account?
Yes.
And did you obtain records for that iCloud account associated with that registered email address?
I did. So if you look at item type, it says video call event. It says it's between one RPG Poppy. You have to look at the target ID. You'll notice it's the same as the one for Raekwon Howard and then the KSOO 23X account.
And when were those video calls taking place?
January 15th, 2020.
Does it show a time?
It does. It's 15:53.
At UTC time?
It is.
So would that be 10:53 a.m. in Eastern time? When was the murder again?
It was January 15th around just before 11. Talking to underscore KEKAOIR. And basically right here, you see a message where it says, laugh my ass off, we will FaceTime you later. There, and then they reply with this number here.
Did you find anything in your review of those records that connected Chiffon Hogan to this investigation?
No.
Based on his cell phone records and where that device was located, was it anywhere near the shopping plaza at the time of the murder? Or Townsend Boulevard where the Nissan Altima was located?
No.
So that's shitting on the defense's theory. Remember, the defense points fingers at other people, not at their clients. So that guy was one of the people they pointed at.
Was there any communications from his cell phone records that you found connecting him to any of these suspects?
No. So while going through the Instagram account of the KSOO 23X account, I observed several IP addresses. I subpoenaed the IP addresses to various phone carriers. The phone carriers returned the 478-305, 9583 number, and I then did a historical cell site warrant for that number and got, I believe, data records.
So from just after 6 till 1:10 in the afternoon, no activity as reflected in these records.
As reflecting these records, yes.
Going to phone number 478-491-2831. You see the subscriber name associated with this account.
I do.
And what is that?
It is Daryl Watts.
The 478-491-2831 number. Where was that identified as in Instagram accounts?
It was identified as Junior's number, one of his numbers.
What about the calls in yellow? You said those were calls between Abdul Robinson Jr. and who?
Mr. Leroy Whitaker.
What time were those calls predominantly taking place?
It is 16:04, so right around, it's 12. No, yeah.
I mean, no matter what you think, this is a bad look. I mean, all these guys are calling each other around the time of the murders, or before and after. Like, it's just not a good look, bro.
First call in yellow is at 10:48 or 5:48 in the morning.
And then a couple calls after that, shortly thereafter.
Yes, 11:01 to 11:08. You got 2 more calls.
Was a cell phone for 478-305-9583 ever found?
Yeah.
Oh, so they never found some of these phones. Interesting.
You can see it's a gray body and appears to have black arms, or dark-colored arms and shoulders.
So what he's pointing at is the hoodie. I believe KSOO had the same hoodie. Not a good look when you have a hoodie and a gun that look like the hoodie and a gun that a shooter had.
Did you ever see Christopher Brown on that iCloud account?
No.
Did anything in your investigation ever link Christopher Brown to this crime in terms of cell phone records, physical evidence, DNA, fingerprints, anything like that?
No.
Boom. Shitting on the defense theory that Chris Brown was involved. Oh boy, cross-examination already?
At any point in your investigation, did you feel like the ages of these people were significant?
Significant how?
You tell me. Did you find them significant or not, sir? Doesn't sound like you did.
No.
Okay.
She's just pointing out that her client was younger than everyone else, but he was still of legal age as an adult, so.
Based on the facts that you knew even that day, on January 15th, did you feel confident that there was a connection between that crashed Altima and the burglary at Miss Buckley's home?
Yes.
You were made aware that Miss Buckley never was able to identify the second person in her home, correct?
That's correct.
Now, in that August 27th meeting, Dominique Barner does give you something you didn't have before, and that is he claims Leroy Whitaker was a full part of this murder, right?
That's correct.
Before August 27th of 2020, you didn't have any evidence besides Barner, right?
At that time, I can't remember the DNA came back on the shirt inside the car.
Oh, and let's go through that.
So she's trying to point out that they had no evidence on Scotty until after Dominique said something, but he replied back saying that he got the DNA from the shirts at a certain point. So now she wants to get into the DNA that they found on the shirts.
And then finally, you articulate Mr. Barner's claim that Leroy Whitaker was not just in that car, but that he was supposedly participating, correct?
That's correct.
And that is what made the difference for you to file for a murder arrest warrant, right?
Yes, at that time.
Okay. 'Cause at that time, you had what you believed to be cell phone records, right?
Yes.
You had what you believed to be DNA, right?
Yes.
But those things, at best, if they were believed, would only put him at the scene of a crime, correct? It certainly wouldn't prove to you that he participated in it, right?
Again, the only thing I can say to that is inside the Nissan, there were 2 guns recovered, and a third one that we never recovered. There's 3 guns, 3 people. That's kind of hard to say he had no idea what was going on.
Okay, so you assumed that anybody who's in that car must have known. Is that what you're telling us?
Again, 3 cars, 3 guns.
Okay.
That's a very loud statement.
So again, you assumed.
Actions speak louder than words.
Yes or no, sir?
At that time, yes.
Yes. So the ultimate answer is yes, you assumed.
Yes.
She doing okay, trying to make him look dumb. His investigation was terrible, but
You'd agree with me that there's nowhere in your very extensive report where you indicate that you had put the known license plate of the Nissan Altima used in this case through that license plate reader.
this just reminds me of the YSL trial. License plate readers, you didn't put everything in your report. Why is your report missing details?
I don't believe there are any scans of note, so no.
I'm sorry?
Scans of note. Sorry, license plate scans.
I'm sorry, say that for me one.
I don't believe there's any license plate scans of note.
Okay, so your testimony without a written note in your report is that your memory is that you did this, but it wasn't helpful. Is that what I'm hearing you say, sir?
At my best recollection, yes.
And you would have received all of the photographs that the evidence technicians took as they're actually searching this Altima, right?
Yes.
And I think you mentioned on direct you were physically there.
Yes.
Right? So you knew that there was this Bible found in the trunk.
I can't recall it at this time.
I think.
I'm sorry, she's done this on the.
What's the significance of him having a Bible? Is she trying to hope that someone on the jury is religious or something? Is that what she's going for here? He's a nice young religious man that just so happened to be in the car that murdered someone. I mean, they have his DNA in his car. They have his DNA on the lady that was kidnapped after in her house. Is that damning evidence to you guys that this guy was in the car during the time of the murder? I think all roads lead to him being in the car, personally. Like, common sense says, yeah, it was probably him. He's friends with KSOO. But is that enough? Is probably him enough to convict him? Who knows?
Your explanation is no one contacted you and let you know that Torgan Williams, who you always had wanted to interview and were actively investigating in this case, was physically in the Duval County Courthouse.
That's correct.
Okay. Even though Mr. Atkinson was the one prosecuting him. Were you aware of that?
Vaguely, I think I might remember that. Sorry.
We all know what the lawyer's doing here. She's trying to make him look like an idiot. Terrible investigation. You got the wrong guy. He's innocent.
Well, were you aware that Mr. Barner claims that Chris Brown is the confidant that originally went out to the complex to make sure that Mr. McCormick was there? They went out in the middle of the night, the early morning hours of the 15th. Did Mr. Barner explain that to you?
I don't recall that being explained to me.
Okay. And you don't remember, or you don't recall it being explained that he was with Chris Brown and they were actively talking about the benefits of killing Charles McCormick?
At some point I heard that, but
Okay. But you never sought to interview Chris Brown,
no.
even though he's sitting in the Duval County Jail.
Yes, because it is explained to me that he left before the homicide took place.
There was a rifle and a handgun found in the Nissan Altima, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And according to Mr. Barner, that rifle was Leroy Whitaker's, right?
According to him, yes.
Okay. Only according to Dominic Barner, right?
Correct.
I mean, you don't have any physical evidence, right?
Correct.
Okay. We've seen Instagram photos and such. Do we have photographs of Mr. Whitaker holding this firearm?
We do not.
In fact, I did not hear you testify, sir, to any kind of Instagram posts by Leroy Whitaker, correct?
No.
And Mr. Whitaker is not in this video that we saw of Charles McCormick dancing around, correct?
I'm sorry, of him dancing around?
Of Mr. McCormick dancing around, the video that you felt was
You're referring to the
significant, the bye, bye, bye video?
No, he was not in the video.
You never ended up doing any kind of a search warrant at Mr. Whitaker's home?
No.
Never spoke to his father?
No.
But you never developed any further evidence that Leroy Whitaker had anything to do with the death of Charles McCormick, did you?
No.
What do y'all think? Is the DNA enough? The phone number shit was so confusing in this trial. They didn't clarify it very well. So I don't know if his phone was tracked. I think it was. I'm guessing it was tracked in the general area. What do you think? Do you think that's enough to convict him? KSOO's lawyer is now up for cross.
Very first warrant that you do in this case has nothing to do with Dominique Barner, right?
No, not at that time.
It was for my client's Instagram account.
That was not the first warrant. The first warrant was for the car.
So you do remember now.
Just
On February.
Bro shrugged his shoulders like, all right.
Now, you've watched the entire Bang It Out music video, right?
yes.
There's firearms throughout that, right?
Correct.
In fact, the one that the government is trying to say may or may not have been the one that was used in the homicide, it's held by a bunch of different people.
Correct.
Casting doubt that someone else was the shooter in the music video, not KSOO.
Saying that the fingerprint on the gun that was found inside of the car was left on that gun even remotely close to January 15th, right?
No, wait, no.
Now, let's talk about your investigation. Of course, you're shaking your head. I don't know if you had something to add. Okay. You have a description on what the shooter was like, and on the day that he comes into the station, was ultimately arrested, you met him for the first time, right?
Yes.
And you were surprised by how big he was.
Like his weight, yeah.
No, you were surprised with how big he was, height and weight.
I'd say weight. He doesn't look a little skinnier on Instagram back then, from my recollection.
Would it refresh your recollection to see your reaction in the interrogation video?
No, again, I said there was the weight that kind of threw me off.
Bro's like, I'm surprised he looks skinnier on Instagram. Like his legs are skinny, but the weight up top, he got like a heavy top half.
And at one point in time, he went out to go to the bathroom, right?
Without watching it, I don't remember.
And you walked back into the interview room, and he was in front of you.
They're trying to get the point across that he was surprised that KSOO was bigger. KSOO is too big for to be the shooter, but
And it wasn't just one. It wasn't just Officer Collins. There was another officer, Graham, right?
I vaguely remember, yes.
They both gave descriptions of the person that them as seasoned officers saw with their own eyes, right?
Yes.
You talked to him for a minute. He hasn't stood up yet, right?
I don't know if it was a minute. I think he almost immediately asked to go to the bathroom.
Then he walks out and he goes to the bathroom.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Is that correct? I wasn't.
That's accurate, yes.
As he's walking back in, this is the first time he's standing up, you make a comment, you're a lot bigger than I thought you'd be.
Yes.
Right?
I said yes.
Not, you're the exact same size of the shooter that I've been investigating. Either consciously or subconsciously, you say, you're bigger than I thought you'd be. Right?
I've already answered this, but yes.
this is where the state should be saying objection asked and answered.
They're not objecting. You don't get to make that choice.
Yes.
All right. Now,
He looked over at the state like, yo, object.
so somewhere out there's an audio recording of two of your colleagues giving a description of the person they're chasing.
Yes.
Why don't we have that? Richardson hearing?
What? Okay, if I can have a grounds for the objection? Okay. I will overrule the objection.
That's kind of crazy the defense doesn't have that.
And per your policy, if somebody is chasing after somebody else in a vehicle and then on foot, you're supposed to activate that body cam.
Yes.
Now, obviously, sometimes that doesn't happen, right?
Yes.
But sometimes there are recordings, right?
Yes.
You as a lead detective, is there a recording?
Of
Officer Collins chasing on foot the shooter?
no.
His body cam wasn't on chasing someone? Why?
You would agree that if you were to execute a search warrant on my client where he was living at that time at his mother's house, and that isn't there, that could lead to an argument of those aren't his clothes.
Potentially.
Now, these Nike tech suits, Nike tech fleece suit is what you think the shooter may have been wearing?
Sorry. Perhaps. Yes.
Right. Wildly popular. They're popular, right?
I have seen them. Yes, but I don't know how popular they are. I can't speak to it.
Them tracksuits are pretty popular.
What I'm getting at here is that there's more than one of them out there in the world.
Yes.
More than one of them out there in this county.
Presumably.
So it would be speculation to say that the one that we saw in the video with my client on the FaceTime call, that's the same one. That'd be speculation, right?
Yes.
You don't even see the full thing.
You can't from the video.
The shooter that covered their face, the people that ran from the cops, the burning of the evidence, the cell phones under other names. Those are people trying to protect their identity, to hide it, right?
Yes.
About doing something and getting his toes done.
Yes.
And you believe that that's evidence of this murder.
In context of everything else that was posted, yes.
So there's all these attempts to cover up identity, and then he goes out into social media with, how many followers does he have? Hundreds of thousands?
Without looking at his page, I can tell you.
You know that it's a lot.
Yes.
Right. That he then goes out there and confesses. That's your belief, that everything is done to hide in the moment, and then 5 days later, I'll just confess to the world.
Sadly, yes. This is a self-snitching situation here. That's what these drill rappers do, boys.
Yes.
That's your belief.
Yes.
Right. Do you have any way of saying that he wasn't just co-opting the life that he saw growing up to sell records?
I can't say that.
You know, because who else would be stupid enough to post on Instagram, yeah, I just killed a guy, but the person that is trying to sell records to go, you know what? People out there are going to believe it because they don't know it, but I feel secure enough that I'm not going to be charged with this because I know I didn't do it. You understand the question?
Now, if you could repeat it, that'd be great.
Bro basically just called his client stupid in front of the jury, and I'm sure a few jurors probably believe this guy did it.
Have you ever heard the phrase, you can't be smart and stupid at the same time?
Can't say I have. I've never heard that.
It would be smart if somebody were trying to hide their identity in the moment. It'd be stupid of them to then go onto social media and confess it if they were actually involved, right?
Yes.
We're not saying that my client didn't like Willie Addison. We're not saying that my client didn't dislike Charles McCormick. But him disliking Charles McCormick doesn't mean that alone doesn't mean that he killed him, right?
No.
Posting, bye. That could just be a reflection of him disliking the guy, not necessarily killing him, right?
Right.
You agree?
Just the post itself? No, I agree.
This guy's dead. I mean, agreeably, it may not be tasteful. I don't like this guy. This guy's rapping about something about somebody that me and others cared about. I don't like that. He's now been killed. Bye. And you want to know what? I'll probably get a bump in records too. You agree with that? Charles McCormick, to the best of your knowledge, was he rapping about something that he was never involved in?
As far as I can say, I can't say he had any involvement in the murder.
You can't say that he had any
I'd say
involvement.
that.
So it's okay for Charles McCormick, but it's not okay for the guy that actually has the record. Is that what you're saying?
It's not okay for the guy who has a fingerprint on a gun inside that vehicle that was used to murder him.
You already agreed with me that that fingerprint could have been left at any time.
It could have been, but is there any vehicle that could be tied to Charles McCormick? I can't say. I know you probably can't say as well, but I don't think I would be posting or rapping about something I might have remotely had anything to do with.
Let's go back to the fingerprint now. After you got that fingerprint, you didn't arrest my client, right?
No.
Because it wasn't enough.
No.
You didn't arrest Chifton Hogan,
No.
right? His DNA's in there.
I followed the evidence to verify where they were at that day.
There we go. I said that in my previous video. All the DNA in the cars, I keep bringing up, there's other people's DNA in the car that you didn't really look into. He's like, no, I just did. They had alibis. They were somewhere else. Does KSOO have an alibi?
All the evidence as far as the fingerprint, and then just kept on that track.
The fingerprint and then the DNA when it came back.
The DNA that easily could have been transferred from the shirt that had my client's DNA on it.
I don't know the specifics of how it got on there. I can't tell you that.
Should we save that testimony for the DNA expert?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I could have subpoenaed, I guess, Meta to see if there's any other accounts tied to that account email.
So, but when you see a selfie of my client from the Apple return, it's just, okay, that's good enough. That's his account.
It wasn't just a selfie, it was multiple pictures, but okay.
We have the evidence. There's about a dozen photos, right?
Yeah, there's multiple photos.
Dozen.
Still multiple.
Okay. My client's phone, the 1595.
Is a dozen not multiple? So he's trying to cast out that it's KSOO's phone. It's actually his dad's phone.
Up until the end of the records, which were about a week after the murder.
From the best I remember, yes.
So it wasn't uncommon for my client to be speaking to Raekwon Howard.
No.
Your belief is that my client killed one of his people, one of his group.
Associate, maybe, yes.
Doesn't that prove more that my client is not part of all of this? That he's not at war with this group like the others that are involved? They can't give you the answer.
Sorry.
You gotta look at me.
He stood up. Sorry. No, I don't know. Just without knowing all the context of their conversations, I don't know what they're saying to each other.
You saw the text messages.
Yeah, I saw them teasing each other, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not still bad blood there.
Dude, yeah, that's so weird. KSOO messaging ops, like teasing each other, like taunting each other on Instagram. That's what they were doing. One of them talking about losing weight and shit, like basically calling one of them fat. I don't know if it was him calling KSOO fat or not. That's fucking wild to me. And then remember, KSOO allegedly said, I caught one of your guys slipping, then hopped out the car and shot him.
Let's break it down. You view my client, you're like, he killed somebody that's part of this group 6 block. It's weird that he's talking to somebody from 6 block, right?
Yes.
Doesn't that weirdness go away when you finally admit, oh wait, maybe my client didn't have a problem with this group 6 block and that was everybody else that was still battling on the streets?
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
You think it's weird because you believe that my client has this problem with all the group 6, right?
Yes.
Doesn't that weirdness, that weird feeling you have, doesn't that go away?
No.
You admit that.
And the reason that
I could ask a question.
Sorry.
Gets along with Raekwon, and they're even joking around. And you can't speculate whether it was positive or negative. But maybe he isn't part of this rivalry in between the two. That clears up the weirdness.
It does not, because he mentions Bibby almost every chance he gets.
Sidebar, Your Honor?
Okay, let's come sidebar.
Oh no, he's mad he mentioned Bibby. KSOO's charged with another murder of someone else named Bibby a year before this one, like a year before, like 2019 or some shit. And the Bibby one is pretty much the same amount of savagery. Bibby was like 16 or something, and KSOO allegedly caught him slipping in daylight and ran him down, chased him down, and executed him straight up. Just like this one.
But with the close of this witness, and I'll call upon the state. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the state has rested its case. This does require us to take up a matter, once again, outside of your presence. I promise it shouldn't take long, and then we will be continuing here shortly, but I'm going to have to ask you to once again leave your notepads on your seats and have a step into your respective jury rooms.
All right, the state rested their case. Hit subscribe. I love you guys. Thanks for the support, for real. Every single one of you that watch my videos, I'm forever grateful. Peace out, guys.